Ascent Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents How to Be a Coffee Bean, 111 Life-Changing Ways to Create Positive Change, by John Gordon and Damon West. Narrated by Damon West. Limit of liability disclaimer of warranty. While the publisher and author have used their best efforts in preparing this book, they make no representations or warranties with respect to the accuracy or completeness of the contents of this book, and specifically disclaim any implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. No warranty may be created or extended by sales representatives or written sales materials. The advice and strategies contained herein may not be suitable for your situation. You should consult with a professional where appropriate. Further, readers should be aware that websites listed in this work may have changed or disappeared between when this work was written and when it is read. Neither the publisher nor authors shall be liable for any loss of profit or any other commercial damages, including but not limited to special, incidental, consequential, or other damages. In loving memory of the man who taught me about the coffee bean, James Lynn Baker II, the real Mr. Jackson, Damon West. To Damon West, for being the ultimate coffee bean, living the coffee bean message, and changing the world with it, John Gordon. Prologue. The origin story of the coffee bean. If you read The Coffee Bean, you know it's a short book with a powerful message, a simple lesson about the power to transform your world from the inside out. You may have even heard that I was first introduced to the story of the coffee bean in the summer of 2009 while I was in Dallas County Jail. I was awaiting transfer to a Texas maximum security prison to serve a life sentence for organized crime and was filled with overwhelming fear of the unknown when another inmate shared it with me. He used the example of prison as the pot of boiling water, illustrating the three options I had. Be like the carrot, which turns soft, be like the egg, which turns hard, or be like the coffee bean, which transforms the water into coffee. He told me that the power was inside me, and I believed him. What you may not know is how the Coffee Bean book came to be, exactly 10 years later, in the summer of 2019. Well, the backstory actually starts in 2010, when Chad Morris walked into a bookstore in Destin, Florida. At the time, he had just left a successful career as a Texas high school football coach to take the job as offensive coordinator for the University of Tulsa football team. That day, while on vacation, he was looking for a good book to read with his quarterbacks. Immediately, a book caught his eye because it had a whistle on the cover. This spoke to him as a coach. So he grabbed John Gordon's Training Camp, with the best do better than everyone else, off the shelf, and read the entire book on the beach that day. Satisfied that he had found the perfect book, Chad purchased copies for all of his quarterbacks. The pages of Training Camp contributed to a great season at Tulsa. In fact, after one season of college football, Chad's offensive coaching skills got the attention of one of the youngest head coaches in college football, Dabo Swinney. Recognizing Chad's talent, Dabo hired him to fill their newly vacant offensive coordinator coaching position. As soon as Chad was settled in at Clemson, he walked into Dabo's office one afternoon in 2011 with a copy of Training Camp in his hand. He gave the book to Dabo and told him how impactful it was at Tulsa and that he felt it could be just as impactful for the culture at Clemson. From time to time, Chad would ask Dabo if he had a chance to read Training Camp. Dabo assured Chad he would read it before their own training camp began in August. In June, Chad and his family were again in Destin, Florida, on their annual vacation. He was relaxing and soaking up the rays on the beach when his cell phone rang. It was Dabo calling. Chad sat up in his beach chair, ready to talk offensive strategy with his head coach. But Dabo wasn't calling to discuss X's and O's. He was calling to tell Chad he had just finished training camp. Dabo agreed that the book would work well with the culture they were building at Clemson. That 2011 season, Clemson used Training Camp as a team read, and the team subsequently won 10 games. In the fall training camp of 2012, Clemson used the Energy Bus as their team read, and John Gordon spoke to the Clemson Tigers for the first time. As Clemson's culture of winning began to take root and grow, John was a consistent presence at every training camp. His books became team reads, and his principles became their principles. On a personal level, Dabo and John began a close friendship, which eventually saw both of John's kids go into Clemson for their education. While Dabo was bringing John in every year to positively impact his teams, I was using the coffee bean message to change that maximum security prison into a pot of coffee. In fact, my transformation into a servant leader and the transformation of the prison's culture was so extreme, the parole board released me from prison in 2015 with the instruction to find more coffee beans in society. That's exactly what I did. I started sharing the coffee bean message all over my little area of Southeast Texas. As the message was taking root, I dreamed of sharing it with college football teams because I had once played college football. I felt my backstory and the message of the coffee bean could be especially useful to student athletes. Until that opportunity presented itself, I continued to get in reps every chance I got, sharing the message with any audience that would have me. One such opportunity came in January 2017 in Houston, Texas. A friend of mine, Michael Orta, invited me to the Bear Bryant Coach of the Year Award, where the best college football coach in America would be named. I felt so out of place at the Toyota Center that night. One by one, I made each head coach and gave them my awkward and untested elevator pitch. And, one by one, each coach passed on my offer. After being rejected in the first hour by all but one coach there, I was in the corner of the Toyota Center, licking my wounds and feeling sorry for myself. The voice in my head said, "Go home. Quit. That last coach is going to tell you what you already know, like all the others." But I could not quit, because as a coffee bean, I was constitutionally incapable of quitting. So I stalked that last coach around the room that night until I was finally in front of him. Dabo Swinney listened to my pitch and asked me if I had a card on me. I gave him my card, and he hurried away. Defeated and exhausted, I was relieved it was finally over. I had been rejected by every coach there that night. But I felt good, because I left it all on the field. Being a coffee bean means that you don't have to win all your fights, but you must fight all your fights. A few months later, I received an email from Michael Dooley, Director of Football Operations at Clemson. He mentioned that Coach Swinney had met me at an award show in Houston, and that he would love to have me speak to the team. "Do you have August 1st open?" he asked. Was he kidding? I had the 1st of every month open. In August 2017, 7 months after I met Dabo in Houston, I shared the coffee bean message with the Clemson Tigers. After that presentation, Dabo believed in the coffee bean so much that he started calling other head coaches in college football, beginning with Nick Saban, to bring me in to speak to their teams. As the other coaches began bringing me in, the message grew. In August 2018, the coffee bean message was launched on a rocket ship when John Gordon called me out of the blue. He told me he had just spoken to Dabo's team and that Dabo pulled him aside to tell him my story and about the coffee bean message. I said to John, "That's really cool that Dabo still talks about the coffee bean. He said he uses it in their culture at Clemson." John got to the point. He told me, "Damon, the coffee bean message is powerful. Let's team up to write a book. We'll call it The Coffee Bean. The world needs this message." My jaw dropped. This was different than a coach calling me to speak to their team. John Gordon had just asked me to co-author a book. I fumbled for the correct response, saying, "Wow, John, I'm speechless, humbled that you're asking me to write this book with you. But the truth is, you don't need me. You should write the book yourself." "That won't work," John said, with conviction in his voice. "I always listen to what God tells me, and God told me to write this book with you." I could immediately envision it when Dabo was telling me about this incredible message. "Let's write this book together, Damon. The world needs the coffee bean message." Imagine if Chad Morris had never walked into that Destin bookstore in 2010, or if he'd had chosen any other book to read with his team. Imagine if John had never visited Clemson. Imagine if I had left that award show without meeting Dabo. Imagine if Dabo hadn't told John about my story and the coffee bean message. There would be no coffee bean, and this book you are listening to would not exist. The coffee bean was meant to be, and you were meant to be a coffee bean. That's why John and I wrote this book. So now you know the backstory. Our goal is to help you create positivity in your life and write the story of your life. You may have read the life-changing allegory of the coffee bean, but now we want to equip you with these strategies and principles to become a coffee bean. Let's get started. Damon West. Principle 1. Create from the inside out, not the outside in. Don't let the environment or situation transform you. As the coffee bean, you have the power inside you to transform your environment. Don't let your circumstances define you. You define your circumstance with your attitude, energy, and actions. Principle 2. Be a big dose of vitamin C instead of a germ. Your energy is contagious, and every day you have a choice to affect people with your positive energy or infect people with your negative energy. You can be a germ, or you can be vitamin C. Decide to be vitamin C. Principle 3. Smile. Did you know that when you smile, your brain produces serotonin, which is an antidepressant? And when you smile at someone, they produce more serotonin in their brain as well. Just by smiling at someone, you're helping them and helping yourself. So whatever your job is, remember, you're also a pharmacist. Principle 4. Neutralize energy vampires. Energy vampires suck the positive energy out of individuals, teams, and organizations. Your positive energy must be greater than their negativity. Don't let them bring you down. Instead, lift others up. Principle 5. Be a thermostat, not a thermometer. A thermostat sets and creates the temperature in the room. The thermometer measures it. When you are a thermometer, you let others be the thermostat, and how you are measured is defined by them. When you decide to be a thermostat, you create the energy and atmosphere in the room. Your body language and positive energy can change the energy everywhere you go and create the atmosphere. Principle 6. Turn challenges into opportunities. Every challenge is an opportunity to learn, grow, and improve. When faced with a challenge, ask, what can I learn from this? How can I improve and grow? What do I want to know, and what actions do I need to take? When you do this, your challenges lead to you adapting, innovating, learning, and growing. Principle 7. Learn from failure. Too many people let failure bring them down. They see it as a definition of who they are, and this sabotages their self-esteem and identity. Instead of changing the world, they feel sorry for themselves. We want you to realize that failure is not meant to define you. It's meant to refine you to be all you are meant to be so you can make a greater difference in the world. Principle 8. Take accountability and make amends. Everyone makes mistakes. It's part of being human. In fact, making mistakes is often how we learn to do things correctly. Accepting that you made a mistake is only half of the process of owning our behaviors. Taking accountability is the other half. It means that we make amends for our mistakes and transgressions that affect others, and we do not make excuses for our behaviors. Principle 9. Live in the moment. Your energy is greatest in the present moment. Daydreaming about the future or dwelling on the past causes us to think about a different time and moment than the one we are living in. When this happens, our energy is divided and weaker. When we live in the present moment, our energy is the greatest, and we are our most powerful and impactful selves. Principle 10. Practice servant leadership. The secret to life is servant leadership. Servant leadership is about committing your time and energy to help others. It requires you to be selfless and put the needs of others before your own. Look for ways to serve others today, and you'll be demonstrating leadership. Principle 11. Encourage others. Coffee beans are always looking for ways to encourage others. The word encourage literally means to put courage into. When you encourage someone, you put courage into them. You bring out the best in them. We all need encouragement from time to time. That's why it's so important to tell people things like, great job, You've got this. And I believe in you. Principle 12. Work out mentally each day. You are not only what you eat, you are also what you consume in your mind. Every book you read, the websites you frequent, the social media accounts you follow, the shows you watch, and the people you communicate with fill your mind with positivity or negativity. Feed your mind and soul well by choosing positive mental food. Principle 13. Take a thank you walk. It's impossible to be grateful and stressed at the same time. Make the time each day to go for a walk. On this walk, think about what you are grateful for. You can even say these things out loud. When you are feeling blessed, you can't be stressed. Principle 14. Live with faith, not fear. What do fear and faith have in common besides beginning with the letter F? They both believe in futures that have not happened yet. Fear believes in a negative future, and faith believes in a positive future. If neither above has happened yet, why wouldn't you choose to believe in a positive future? Choose to believe in a positive future. Principle 15. Have a get-to mindset. Remind yourself each day that you don't have to do anything. Rather, you get to do something. This simple shift in your daily outlook will change your perspective. Principle 16. Help someone be successful. You aren't a true success unless you help others be successful. And here's the great thing about helping others improve and grow. When you help others improve, you improve. When you help others grow, you grow. Principle 17. Shout praise and whisper criticism. Let everyone know how great someone is, but quietly criticize someone individually in order to help them get better. This makes you a positive communicator and makes others better. Principle 18. Don't be bitter. Get better. It's easy to let past events hold you back and weigh you down with bitterness and anger. Coffee beans don't let past circumstances make them worse. They focus on getting better and creating a positive future. Principle 19. Be great today. Don't worry about your greatness in the future. Just focus on being your best today. If you do this each day, you will create greatness. Principle 20. Control what you can control. There is a lot in life you can't control. The key is to focus on what you can control. Your attitude, effort, and actions. Principle 21. Put in the work. If you want something you've never had, you must be willing to do things you've never done. Simply put, you must put in the work. Whatever your hopes, goals, and dreams are, it is up to you to do what it takes to make them a reality. Principle 22. Care more. When you care more, you stand out in a world where most don't seem to care anymore. When you care, you do more, give more, and help others become more. Principle 23. Be vulnerable. Vulnerability is a strength, and vulnerable people let their guards down and invite others in to connect with them in a deeper, more meaningful way. People will be impressed by your accomplishments, but they will trust you when you reveal your flaws and imperfections. When you are vulnerable, you help others be vulnerable too, and this changes the dynamic of relationships and everyone with whom you interact. Principle 24. Be a great listener. One of the fundamental truths of communication is that everyone wants to feel like they've been heard. When you hear others and they know you are listening to them, they will trust you more and want to follow you. So don't just talk to influence others. Remember that listening is how you build a great relationship and earn the right to speak into someone's life. Principle 25. Value time. Once time is gone, it is gone for good. And all the money in the world cannot buy one more second of time. Time is the great equalizer, affecting each person the same way because we each get the same 24 hours in a day. What is not equal, however, is how each person uses their 24 hours. Value time by making the most of the time you have. Principle 26. Take a personal inventory. A business cannot operate efficiently without taking inventory. In fact, a business will probably go bankrupt if it does not keep track of its inventory. The same thing happens to people who do not regularly take a personal inventory. They become emotionally bankrupt. Take an inventory of your life. What is good in your life? What is nourishing you? What is sabotaging you? What is no longer serving you? What is a waste? What is something you need to add? This will help you take stock of what you have, what you need, and what needs to go. Principle 27. Clear the clutter. When you take your personal inventory, you want to identify things that need to go. Just as your home needs a good spring cleaning, you also need to clean up your personal life regularly and take out your trash. When you let go of the things that are wasting your time and energy, you'll be able to make room for new energy and positive things in your life. Principle 28. Practice empathy. Empathy is when we feel with others. It's putting yourself in their shoes and asking yourself, how would I want someone to treat me if this were happening to me? Once we feel with others and become aware of their struggles, then we can be the most useful for them and help them. Principle 29. Give without keeping score. Coffee beans don't give to get. They give out of love, not obligation. They give from the heart. When you keep score, you both lose. When you give simply to give, you both win. Principle 30. Add value. In every interaction, conversation, project, and workday, look to add value. Make someone better. Share something helpful. Write something that will improve someone's outlook. Give a tip that will impact their bottom line. Look for ways each day to enrich the lives of others. When you add value, you become more valuable to others. Principle 31. Lead with love, not an agenda. In other words, make sharing love your agenda. People can tell if you have selfish motives, and when this happens, you lose the power to lead and influence others. At the core of being human, we all want to be loved. People will follow a leader who makes others feel loved. When you love them, they will follow you. Principle 32. Be a connector. Coffee beans connect. They look for ways to connect people who would benefit from getting to know each other. The more you connect good people, the more good gets done in the world. As you go through your life, look for opportunities to connect people who would benefit each other in the world by becoming friends. Principle 33. Write thank you notes. Pick up a pen and paper, the old-fashioned way of writing, to tell someone how grateful you are for them and what they did for you. The act of writing a thank you note not only makes you happier, it makes the person reading the note happier. Principle 34. Choose to forgive. It's been said that forgiveness is the ultimate weight loss. When you forgive, you let go of the heavy energy holding you back from becoming all you were meant to be. You let go of your resentments, jealousy, and anger. This doesn't mean you forget. It just means you let go of the burden weighing you down so you can move forward and create a positive future. Principle 35. Love tough. When you love someone, you earn the right to challenge them to be their best. Tough love works when love comes first. When people know you love them, they will let you be tough with them and make them better. Principle 36. Laugh out loud. Laughter is not just good for the soul, it's also good for the heart. Research shows that laughter actually improves heart health and happiness. And when you laugh with others, or make them laugh, you spread positive, contagious energy that makes everyone healthier and happier. Read a joke, tell a funny story, share a funny video. Principle 37. Use your gifts for a bigger purpose. You are not here just for you. You are part of something bigger than you. The gifts, talents, skills, resources you have are meant to be shared to enrich the lives of as many people as possible. When you share your gifts with the world, you make yourself and the world better. Principle 38. Be positive, especially on difficult days. Positive doesn't mean Pollyanna. We are positive not because life is easy. We are positive because life can be hard. It's not about ignoring your current reality. It's about being positive and optimistic in order to create a better reality. Principle 39. Don't let negativity sour your situation. Being a coffee bean doesn't mean you sugarcoat your challenges, situations in life. It means that you will not let negatives sour your situation. You can acknowledge the situation is difficult while seeking ways and taking action to improve it. Principle 40. Embrace change. The wave of change is always happening. If you resist the wave of change, it will crush you. But if you embrace change, you will ride the wave and create a positive future. Always remember during times of change, your perspective about change will determine whether you succeed. Embrace it and thrive. Principle 41. Enjoy the ride. You only have one ride through life, so make sure you enjoy it. This doesn't mean you won't face hard times. It means you will find joy in the journey and do your best to make the most of the life you have been given. Principle 42. Look for the good. What you look for, you will find. When you look for the good, you will find more of it. When you look for what people are doing right, you will find them doing the right things more often. Principle 43. Don't chase success. Instead of chasing success, decide to make a difference and success will find you. It's a different approach than what most of the world says, but coffee beans are different. When you make a difference, success will be a byproduct of all the great work you do and impact you make. Principle 44. Get excited about life. People think when you have an exciting life, you will get excited about life. But it works the other way. When you get excited about life, you get a life that is exciting. Principle 45. Rise and shine. Every day you have a choice. You can rise and whine, or you can rise and shine. When you rise and shine, you're able to shine on others and be the coffee bean that you are meant to be. Principle 46. Believe in miracles. If you don't believe in miracles, remember that you live on a giant rock hurtling through outer space at 60,000 miles per hour, spinning 1,000 miles per hour. Everything about our existence is a miracle, and every day is a miracle. Believe that miracles are possible, and you will start seeing them as the result of your positive attitude and actions. Principle 47. Remember that you are a miracle. Scientists say that the odds of your existence are the same as taking 2 million dice that have 1 trillion sides, rolling them, and having them all come out to the same number. The odds of this happening are basically zero. In other words, the fact you were born is a miracle. So today, be the miracle that you are. Principle 48. Don't seek happiness. Decide to live with passion and purpose instead. When you live with passion and purpose, happiness is a byproduct of that. No one ever finds happiness by seeking it. They find it when they are living a life of meaning, purpose, and impact. Principle 49. Be kind. It doesn't cost anything to be kind, and yet it pays dividends in the world. Kindness is contagious, and when you are kind to people, they will likely be more kind to others. One kind person can have a ripple effect that impacts hundreds or even thousands of people. Remember, kindness is created through tone of voice, body language, words, and actions. Principle 50. Compliment someone.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?